In the ancient tales of Norse mythology, one of the most intriguing and powerful stories revolves around Thor, the god of thunder, and Jormungandr, the Midgard Serpent, a creature of unimaginable size and power. This myth not only speaks of their legendary battles but also weaves into the themes of fate, strength, and the inescapable end of the world. Ragnarok. Jormungandr was no ordinary serpent. It was the child of the trickster god Loki and the giantess Angrboda. Along with his siblings, Fenrir, the great wolf, and Hel, the goddess of the underworld, Jormungandr was a creature of immense power, representing chaos in the world. Odin, the king of the gods, feared the threat posed by these three beings. So, upon Jormungandr's birth, he cast the serpent into the ocean that surrounded Midgard, the realm of humans. As the serpent grew, so did its size. It became so massive that it wrapped itself around the entire world, biting its own tail. Jormungandr's very existence threatened the natural balance of the world, and he was destined to play a key role in the ultimate battle that would end all things. Ragnarok. Thor, the son of Odin and the giantess Jord, was the god of thunder, lightning, storms, and protection. Known for his enormous strength and his mighty hammer Mjolnir, Thor was a protector of the gods and humans alike. He was fearless in battle and was always ready to confront the forces of chaos, making him the perfect opponent for Jormungandr. The rivalry between Thor and the Midgard Serpent was not just one of chance. It was rooted in the very fabric of the world. Thor's mission was to maintain order and balance, and Jormungandr, as a creature of destruction, represented the natural chaos that would one day bring about the downfall of the gods. One of the most famous stories of Thor and Jormungandr is their first encounter, which took place during a fishing trip. Thor and Loki were traveling to the land of the giants, a place full of strange and dangerous beings. Here, they met Hymir, a giant fisherman who lived in the wilderness. Hymir invited Thor and Loki to join him on a fishing expedition, and the three set off in a small boat on the open seas. Thor, always eager for a challenge, cast his line deep into the ocean, and it wasn't long before something massive tugged at the hook. As the line grew tight, Thor realized he had caught something far greater than he had anticipated. With great effort, Thor began pulling the line, and the ocean itself seemed to tremble with each tug. Finally, the surface of the water broke, and the immense body of Jormungandr appeared. The serpent's enormous head rose from the water, its terrifying eyes locking with Thor's as it hissed menacingly. In that moment, Thor, filled with rage and determination, reached for his trusty hammer, Mjolnir. He was ready to strike the serpent down. But just as he prepared to unleash his power, Hymir, terrified by the size and power of Jormungandr, cut the fishing line. He feared the serpent would bring doom upon them all. Thor, enraged by the interruption, tried to strike at the serpent, but the chance was lost. Jormungandr slipped back into the ocean, disappearing into the depths. The first encounter between Thor and Jormungandr is symbolic of the eternal struggle between order and chaos. Thor, representing the god's strength and will, faces off against Jormungandr, an embodiment of nature's destructive power. Despite his strength, Thor is unable to defeat the serpent, emphasizing that even the mightiest beings must face their limitations. Jormungandr, in this myth, represents the forces of nature that cannot be fully controlled or defeated. Even gods like Thor must contend with the unpredictability of the world. The encounter also hints at the inevitable clash that will come at Ragnarok, the prophesied end of the world, where Thor and Jormungandr will face each other once again in a final battle. Jormungandr will die from the force of Thor's hammer, but Thor, weakened by the venom, will take only 9 steps before collapsing and succumbing to the poison. Thor's death, like that of Jormungandr, will mark the end of the god's reign and the beginning of the new world. It's a tragic end to the story, symbolizing the inevitable fate that all gods and creatures must face. Thor's willingness to confront Jormungandr, despite knowing the prophecy and the dangers ahead, showcases his bravery and heroism. His death, brought about by the serpent's venom, highlights the ultimate sacrifice he makes for the protection of the world. It is a powerful reminder that even the mightiest gods are not immune to death, and that every hero, no matter how strong, must one day face their fate. The final battle between Thor and Jormungandr will be the climactic event of Ragnarok, the end of the old world and the birth of a new one. It symbolizes the destruction of the old order and the coming of change, an unavoidable cycle in the universe.